You know what I've learned after 5 years of doing business? Price is never the problem. Belief is. People don't walk away because they can't afford it. They walk away because they don't believe it'll work for them. They don't doubt the product, the coach, the opportunity. They doubt themselves. And that's what keeps most people stuck. Not the number in the bank account, but the story in their head about what they're worth. Every single day, you and I make decisions about price. What to buy, what to skip, what feels too much. But the real calculation isn't about dollars, it's about belief in return. When you say it's too expensive, what you're really saying is, I don't trust myself to turn this into something. Because here's the thing, when you truly believe that something will change your life, you find a way. You sell something, you hustle, you move things around. Money bends for belief. It's not about logic, it's about conviction. And yet, most people don't realize how often they label opportunity as too expensive, when what they really mean is, I'm scared. Scared that if I try, I'll fail. Scared that if I invest, I won't show up. Scared that if I bet on myself and fail, I'll have no one left to blame. We love to tell ourselves, when I have more money, I'll invest. When things calm down, I'll go for it. When I feel ready, I'll start. But that moment never comes. You'll always find another bill, another excuse, another reason to wait. And the price doesn't go down, not in money, not in energy, not in time. The longer you wait, the more it costs, because hesitation has interest. When I first moved to LA, I was pretty broke. My business wasn't stable at the time, and I already took a huge leap in buying a one-way ticket to Los Angeles in a 4-month period to prove that I can get the visa to stay. So it was a pretty chaotic time. And around that time, a client invited me to go to something called Summit at Sea, a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas and back. And the ticket was $5,000. $5,000. I remember staring at that number and my chest just got heavy. My first thought was, no way. You know, my rent was due, my work was inconsistent. There was no reason for me to even consider it. But instead of saying no to my client on the spot, I paused. And I really thought to myself. I thought about who would be on that boat. There would be founders, visionaries, people who have really done something and built something for themselves, people who have really made a difference in this world. These were people who weren't waiting for the world to hand them permission. They were already making things happen. And I realized every single person on that ship had already paid the same price. And every single person on that ship would have been potential clients for me, because those are the exact people looking for people like me who do personal branding, who can help them expand their reach into different audiences on social media. So I said yes. Most people around me thought I was crazy, that I was just being super spontaneous and carefree. A 23-year-old spending $5,000 that she didn't have for a cruise, but I wasn't buying a vacation. I was buying proximity. Proximity to a new standard, a new way of thinking, a new normal. When I stepped onto that ship, everything shifted. Every conversation I had felt like a masterclass in possibility. People were talking about investments, systems, legacy, ideas. No gossip, not luck, no fear. And I remember one night standing on the deck, I was looking at the water and I thought to myself, I almost said no to this. I met people like Simon Sinek and Mike Posner and a lot of really interesting human beings who are doing phenomenal things. And that realization hit me like a wave. How many things had I already said no to in my life because I was scared to pay the price? Because I told myself I couldn't afford it. And how much further would I be if I had learned to trust myself sooner? That cruise changed my entire trajectory. When you start surrounding yourself with people who think bigger, you stop questioning what's possible. You stop seeing 5,000 as a loss and start seeing it as leverage. Because it's never the number that changes you. It's the decision behind it. That one yes multiplied itself in relationships, in clients, and in clarity. I made that $5,000 back 20 times over. But more importantly, I stopped negotiating my value. If I had said no, I would have saved $5,000 and lost 10 years of growth. Because the real cost of saying no isn't money. It's momentum. It's the opportunities you never step into, the people you never meet, the version of yourself you never activate because you were busy playing defense. We always pay something. You either pay to grow or you pay to stay the same. Price is the filter. It separates the curious from the committed, the ones who like the idea of change from the ones who are willing to do what change requires. That doesn't just apply to money. It applies to energy, to effort, to discipline. Most people want transformation at discount prices, but life doesn't work like that. You can't coupon your way to greatness. At some point, you have to pay full price in courage, in faith, In belief, the moment you stop asking, can I afford it? And start asking, what will it cost me if I don't? That's when everything changes. Because the second question forces you to measure time differently. It makes you realize how expensive it is to wait, how much it costs to keep playing small. And that's when you start moving with conviction, not arrogance, conviction. Money doesn't expose your worth, it exposes your belief. When you doubt yourself, every number looks big. When you trust yourself, everything looks possible. That's why you can't talk someone into believing in you. They have to believe in themselves first. Because when someone says, it's too expensive, what they're really saying is, I don't trust that I'll follow through. And when you say it, you're saying the same thing to yourself. Price is never punishment. It's the price of admission. Every great decision in your life required a stretch. Moving cities, launching something new, leaving what's safe. And every single time you stretched, you grew. That's how you build belief. By paying a price that forces you to rise to it. Because money can leave your bank account and come back, but belief stays. When I said yes to that cruise, I wasn't confident. I was terrified. But that decision built the confidence I was waiting for. Because confidence doesn't come before action. It's the result of action. You don't wake up one day suddenly ready. You decide you're ready. And then you prove it by what you're willing to risk. That's what bold really means. It's not being fearless. It's being willing to feel the fear and go anyway. After that cruise, I stopped asking, how much will this cost? And started asking, what's the return on belief? Every time I invest in something now, I think back to that version of me. 23 years old, anxious, unsure, but willing. And I thank her because she showed me that the fastest way to change your life is to say yes to something that scares you, and then become the person who makes it worth it. Here's the truth nobody tells you. If you think it's expensive to bet on yourself, wait until you see the cost of staying small. That's the price that most people pay quietly. The slow drain of potential, the constant wondering, the regret that never leaves. Because playing small doesn't protect you, it just delays the pain. You know what real wealth looks like? It's not buying things to prove you can. It's investing in things that prove you will. It's betting on yourself so many times that the world has no choice to believe you. That's what that $5,000 taught me. So the next time you catch yourself saying, it's too expensive, pause. Ask yourself, do I actually mean it's too expensive? Or do I mean I don't yet believe I can make it worth it? Because once you start betting on yourself, you realize price was never the problem. It was just the mirror reflecting how much you trust your own potential. And that reflection, that moment you choose belief over fear, that's the moment everything changes. So this is day 21 out of 100 bold days. I appreciate you so much, and I want you to crush it today. This is one of the most powerful reframes, I believe, that you can ever do to your life. It has changed my perspective on everything, especially around money and the price of getting to where you want to be. So I hope this was super valuable to you. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. And remember, to act bold, you need to be kid brave again.